Hi,
Hey
everybody.
y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Yes,
I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm cpredmor on Ravelry, and usually posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I can't remember the last time I opened my own account because Richard's closed his office. I don't have that computer anymore, so I don't have the automatic login. So it's like, so it was interesting today. She sang in a concert. It was too tough on my knees for me to stand and sing. But one of our friends came over and said, "There's something different about your hair." I said, "Yeah, it's changing color." You can definitely see it changing
but it's
color.
going nicely.
Because I waited till it was all gray.
Well, yeah.
So it's actually not salt and pepper.
No, I know it's not.
So this ought to be fun. So I'm trying to figure out whether I call and get an appointment to get it cut this week or maybe next week. I need to get it cut before I go in to have my knee fixed.
Well, yes.
So, we could let it grow a little bit further, because then when it gets cut, then it's all one color instead of fringed in gold.
It might still be fringed in gold depending on how long you can wait.
That's true.
Because you've got 8 weeks.
No, I've got 9 weeks.
I was close.
You were close, yes. 8 weeks is what 4th of July is after the surgery.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And your father's going, it takes 10 weeks to recover. I said, I think I heard 9 weeks, but, I'm not going to beat him over the head with it.
All else fails, you could always drive up.
Well, yes, that's what we're talking about. In fact, he mentioned driving up to Ed and Sue's.
And then on the way back coming?
We'll figure it out, but
okay.
Yes. Hi, everybody. So, yes.
That was a little personal minute.
No, this was I said, there's something different about your hair. And I went, yeah, it's changing colors. And she goes, that's it.
And I had my hair down, and she's like, oh, yours is. I was like, yep, mine's purple.
Yes.
Yep.
But can't say that's for Lent.
No, it just happens
to be purple.
all the time.
Yes.
Oh, no, our little friend is
our
out
little white streak.
Pretty out now. I don't know if it was out earlier. But it's very funny because sometimes my hair falls and you don't see it, which I've noticed. I've noticed it a bit more often recently, but I like it.
So anyway, the haircut, I figured I could actually get it so that as long as I can pull it back in the clips, it actually doesn't have to go back in the tail, just in clips to kind of keep it under control. Sailing issues. So, I am still working on, what is this?
That is your Sanfelice.
My Sanfelice. However, it must look to you all like I've done almost nothing.
But
this is
the second side.
This is roughly 10 patterns. I need to do one more pattern than it actually calls for. But yes, this is the left side.
Yay!
And this is the right side.
Yay!
So I'm about halfway done the skirt on the right side. And they're identical up until you get to the yoke. And at the yoke, then buttonholes go in this. And what's nice is that the chart is very specific about putting the buttonholes in on this. So I'm really glad that I didn't try doing it both at the same time. And the other thing is there's 118 stitches in just this little piece. I mean, this is on size 2 needles. And I have to say, as much as I've really thought about, using the acrylic versus the machine washable, I'll probably never use acrylic again because it doesn't feel good in my hands. It's not that it's hurting, but there does seem to be a little extra tension at the end of the evening in my hands than when I work with wool. So, I have been working like a fiend, and I think I mentioned last week that I was hoping to finish this. I came pretty close.
Yeah.
But we were
you were hoping to finish the first side, I thought.
I bravely then say, maybe I can finish the second side.
Oh, I did. I don't recall that.
I was trying to finish this up to the yoke during daylight hours. That didn't happen. We got back, and my
your shawl.
My fancy shawl, we found some moth holes in it.
Or it could just be from flinging it over the banister.
Could be. And so what I did was I took it down to the sewing machine and I found some large decorative stitches and I found some Solvay underlining, and it's going to dissolve in water. So I did decorative stitches using a color of thread that they already had in the decorative stitches in the shawl.
Oh, good.
It's a pashmina.
It is.
And I got it in India, and I don't want to throw it out. I mean, it may fall apart in my hands next year, but I don't want to throw it out if I don't have to. So I have reinforced various areas. I tried darning, and the weave is so fine in it that I don't have. The thread was not good because it had no halo, and I don't have any yarn thread that was the right color. So that's when I decided, well, let's use a contrasting thread and do some decorative stitches. So it is now in the wash, on hand wash, to dissolve the solvay.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's what I was doing this afternoon. So I have been working in this, but then, so remember, I have the back, and this is the back, right side facing you. And then I have the left front, and I'm working on the right front. So after this will be sleeves, and they're only 7 inches long, so those sleeves will take no time.
I gifted the love note for our friend who has a 1-month-old, or just about a 1-month-old, and he said, "Oh, you're an angel," and I was like, "Oh well, you know, little human sleeves take significantly less time than me-sized human sleeves." And he was like, "I can understand that, because he is also a tall and long human being."
Yes.
And I then told him that it was washable, and he again called me an angel, because apparently recently, in the last week, they received a gift that was professional hand wash only.
I've never seen anything that said professional hand wash. What is that? You take to your local laundry and have them hand wash it?
Or you take it to the dry cleaners and you tell them to hand wash. I don't know.
I don't know. The one dress I made for you that I took to the dry cleaners, they ruined. So
right. I don't know. But I thought that was very funny. To which I was like, I don't understand why you would give someone a thing for a small human that is not machine washable.
Makes no sense.
No sense. No sense at all.
Especially since machines these days can do such delicate loads that, I mean, the only time I felt things is when I put things in the dryer. I never felt things in the washer anymore.
No, I haven't felt it anything recently.
At least not unless we intended to. I'm going to try to finish this. I'm doing the back row on this. I did get frustrated one night and said, I can't take this anymore. Give me some yarn. And this is Rowan Calmer, which has some elastic in it. So it's actually got some nylon, and it's cotton. And yet, because of the elasticity that's been put in it, it feels semi like wool. So I've got 7 more stitches here on my 10 more stitches. And so I did start this. Why don't you talk about what you're working on? So
I'm still working on the Softwear update. I only have this much left of the 2 mini skeins that I got for the sleeves. The cuff part is 4 inches long right now. I am thinking before I leave I might borrow another set of needles and try it on. Because I don't think I'll be able to get another inch out of these.
No, you won't.
So I do
I've got
have
a couple spare needles right here.
Yeah, I know you do. I didn't see you pick up any 5s or the Indian River ones 5s.
No, but I had a 4. I put the 4 back.
You put the 4 back. How could you?
This is a 7.
Oh, yeah, that's a little
This
big.
is a small.
It's a small. Okay.
It's like a 2.
Yeah.
So you could put
I
that
could put
through
them
and
on
it
them,
won't
yeah.
stretch.
I think it's a 1.5.
Could be.
Interesting.
What is this?
It's a 1.5.
This looks like a 4.
It is a 3, I think. I don't want to stab you. Yeah, it's a 3. Yeah, it's a 3.
Okay. But you could use that too.
Good. But
thank you, Katrina.
Yeah. I do have another mini that I can use for the neckline. I wasn't anticipating having to use all of this yarn because I had done some very like quick back of the napkin kind of calculation by figuring out how much yarn wrapping the yarn around my needle used for the amount of stitches. But you know, it's an inexact science, so that could be part of it.
Yes.
The other thing is also that it was ribbing versus stockinette, so who knows.
This is a better cord. I'm going to take those out.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get this done because I want to wear it, and I've been working on it for months. I did put it down for a while.
Day to wear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And temperature, not necessarily for the concert.
Yeah. I was like, it's a red, Mom?
Yeah. Well, it's a rust.
It's a rust, yeah.
So what's your shawl that you have on?
So I have on my Find Your Fade, which we all know is huge, but I wear it in a kind of a bib style.
I was going to call it a napkin style, but yeah.
Yes. It's very much a very large shawl, so I can wrap it all the way around myself. However, I'm wearing all black, and I really like the look of this shawl when I wrap it, and also because it sometimes comes undone here, and so then you can see the other colors wrapped around my neck there. And
it would annoy me so much. You know? And I'm wearing my Manzanita.
Yeah.
Which is from 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I looked it up.
I was going to say you made it for the wedding, and the wedding was 2015.
December 2015. So there this is.
And the wedding we're talking about is of my best friends.
Yes.
So yeah.
Anyway, so I put this on. I knew I wanted to wear my silk under layer here because it was 27 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
And this was quite warm, so this was a good. And then I brought my pashmina to the concert, and then she's looking at me and goes, "Mom, you got a little hole over here."
Well, yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew about it.
I didn't. I found several others.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. So I do think, and I haven't really worn it that much, so it may be that there were critters, or maybe it's just
I don't think. Yeah, it could be that it's old. I also don't think...
Because it was from India, and that trip was 12 years ago?
No. I wasn't in... No, I was working when you were in India. And I've only been out of school 8 years.
All right, so maybe it's 8 years. It wasn't that long after...
It was... So we did Paris.
Yes.
Costa Rica. No, Costa Rica was 2016. 2015 into 2016. That winter, January 2016. So was it before Costa Rica or after Costa Rica?
I think it was before.
So
it could be 20.
It could be 2014 or 2015 because 2013 was Paris. So 5 or 6 years.
A pashmina I paid way too much for.
You did,
I am not going to give it up right now. So I managed to.
No, but you are also not a. You're not a haggler.
Not at all. Not at all.
Especially for handmade items in places that are not the U.S. You tend to be like, and I can totally see some of your coworkers who you went with being like, no, you're supposed to haggle, and you were like, I want that, and I want to pay them for their work and their handicraft that they have perfected in order to create that gloriousness. Yes, I've seen you do that.
Anyway. And with the pashmina, I was fine. We went her up to the Hempstead house. So if any of you are from Nassau County, you know that that's basically unheated space.
It was, and like, I think it might have been because of the singing or because they had the heat on in the space once we all got there. Because I did feel the heat because I was sitting in the window boxes in the back room when we were not on stage. Maybe the back room
might have been on.
Well, because I was saying I wasn't cold without my shawl.
But I also can tell you they were leaving doors open left, and center. And I would have thought if they had the heat on that they would have shut the doors.
You never know.
Be that as it may. But with the pashmina, it was nice. The concert was great. And then we came back and I fixed the pashmina.
You fixed the pashmina. I immediately took a nap.
Well, we had been talking about the drive back. It would, you know how you get maybe a little logy and sleepy in the car, especially after lunch.
Yeah.
And I was saying, yeah, it's nap time, but I thought if I don't work on this pashmina,
no, you wouldn't.
I will not finish it. So anyway, I finished that back row. I'm
going to scoot off for a second and try this sweater on.
All right. This is the sweater in Calmer. Remember, we took out that denim, and it's denim, Calmer, by Rowan. And it is in the pattern for something called Red Hot.
By Kim Hargreaves.
Yes. And it's made for Calmer. And this time I actually followed the pattern directions, and it said to start off with, I believe it is a size 5 or 6 needle down here at the bottom to tighten up that bottom edge, and then go to an 8. But I can tell you these 8s, because of the cord, are driving me nuts. It's a very clunky, tight cord. And yes, I could put it in the teapot and loosen it up. That's a possibility. Or I can just change it to my Indian River.
I think. Indian Lake,
Indian River. One of these, because its cord is much calmer. And I have that set downstairs. Otherwise, I would have already changed it. So you can see that I did start. I was a bit frustrated with this Sanfelice one night, and I've gotten this far, and lovely pattern. The house has been all painted. That's the other thing that happened this week.
Yes.
And I was relegated down to the former office space because the smell of paint makes me really ill.
Which was hilarious because I got a text message saying, we're painting the house. And I was like, okay. So I might have to come over. Okay, be careful of the yarn.
Yeah.
And she texts back, she goes, I don't care. I was like, good.
That's right.
Because
it's fine.
You're my mom. I love you. You don't count as guests, so I don't feel like I have to clean for you.
Not really. No.
But she was fine in the office
because I could crack a window in there, and there's 3 doors between the house and the office.
Yep.
So by keeping the doors shut, we were able to keep the paint fumes out of the office, and with the window open, we were able to circulate some fresh air. And I used, I found an unused blow-up bed. I can't believe I had
bed
that I had not yet opened. I can vaguely remember buying it, but it's one that's a little taller, and it has a headboard.
It does,
which means your pillow doesn't fall off the back.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yes.
So I came over on Friday after hanging out with a friend of ours who lives essentially around the corner, and she didn't feel comfortable with me going all the way home, so I had to promise her I would at least stop by the house. And then
she did.
I did, and then I ended up staying, which was great.
Yes, and we were watching old British murder mystery.
1990s.
Yes.
Silent Witness.
Yes.
Mom texted me earlier this week asking if I knew where she could get seasons 1 through 20 because she found 21 and
22 on BritBox.
So I found 10 through 23, 10 through 22 on Hulu, and then I looked and on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime Video. 1 through 21 or something like that.
And so I have a little bit newer one on BritBox. It's interesting because I started watching season 21, and it's very scientific, and it's really focused on what the pathologist can find. And the earlier ones are much more interpersonal relationships.
But it's also very interesting because, like, if you just think about how much technology has changed since the 90s, like, it could also just be that you couldn't know everything you know now.
And since we also watch Midsummer Murders, it's interesting watching a serious mystery show versus one that's being played for camp that's covering the same time frame.
Midsummer Murders is pretty campy.
Yes, it is.
So I think I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 more rows and then bind off because I think these are good.
I like it.
Yeah, but let's use up as much of this
You don't have much.
No, and but I have another whole mini skein to do the neckline.
All right.
Yeah.
But you may end up doing a row and then having to take it out just because it runs out.
So you're saying I should just do the bind off now?
That's what I'm saying, yes.
I guess I'm doing the bind off now.
Yeah, because they're certainly long enough.
Yeah.
Because that's what I hate.
Because there are drop shoulders, so it's hard to tell.
Yes.
I find it's very hard to tell with drop shoulder kind of constructions whether or not they're long enough, just because you do have the section that's already past, you know.
Right, so you can't measure just from your armhole.
Yeah, which I know those measurements that I need, and I know my minimums for that, but it's a bit harder.
When you're not quite sure where you're starting from.
Yeah.
So, we had mail.
We did have mail.
So, first, I'm going to let you talk about the Pompom book. I've marked these, but I think we agree.
So, this Pompom magazine was edited by Ocean by the Sea, and it's gorgeous. I follow her on Instagram, so I saw when she was posted all of the behind the scenes. Also, Pompom is using non-traditional models. So this model does have a wheelchair, and I think that's pretty great to have someone with visible disability on the cover of a magazine. And yes, it's a knitting magazine, so it's not a publication that a lot of people see.
It's not time.
Yeah, it's not time, but I think it's still pretty cool. So it's a really beautiful collection in these very soft colors. It's a really lovely early spring kind of feel.
Yes.
So it opens with a foreword from Megan and Lydia, who talk about the concept being spring air. And that Ocean Rose was the art director, who is Ocean by the Sea. So the first sweater, which is the cover sweater, is by Joji Locatelli, and it's the Susurrus. Susurrus?
If you flip the page, you get a better look.
And so it's got these beautiful mohair, or is it mohair or is it Surrey alpaca? Let's see. Does not say, but it's these lovely airy stockinette panels and then these lace panels.
Okay. Yes, and I like it.
Yes.
That many of the patterns in this volume don't have much shaping.
No.
But
you can add it.
You can add it. Yes. I was going to say that.
Oh. So then there's this shawl, which is by Lana Joyce. And I really like the geometricness of it. I'm really intrigued by how geometric this lace is. So I keep on coming back to it.
Mm-hmm. That part I like, but I'd like to see that basket weave. You could do that basket weave at the border of a sweater.
You could.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And then there's a mohair and fingering weight held double sweater by Bronte Swanwick, which is just so cute.
I think it's right up your alley.
It's very much, but I've got a few others that are a similar shape. And then we have the Abade, which is by Natalia
Shikova.
Okay. And it's got this beautiful, I think it's a slip stitch pattern.
It's really pretty.
And it's just gorgeous. It's made in a lace weight, so it's super light. But I think it would be a really good insulating kind of piece. So I think it'll be really warm.
And blow it away.
Yeah. I think it's very light but warm.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Nibla
by
Camilla Larson Esvel. And also a beautiful yoke with some
so
lace
pretty.
and the cuff detail. It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
You know, if you really care about shaping, you could always put your own shaping into these sweaters. And in fact, we'll talk about, we have a shaping example in the next book that we want to show you.
And the other thing I'm noticing that's big in at least the Aloft, which is this one, and the Nebula that we just talked about, is the balloon sleeves are coming back, which I kind of like.
Yes.
So then we have...
But they're soft ballooning.
Yeah, they're soft and balloony. They're not
really looking like a Gibson girl.
Yeah.
We're not talking about leg of muffin sleeves.
No, they're balloons down at the wrist. They softly. They're more like, I guess, like lantern sleeves.
Yes.
So then we have the Carrie?
Yeah, looks like
Carrie by Winnick Peterman.
And the texture looks terrific.
And the texture.
With the lace.
With that lace. It looks like it'd be a very utilitarian sweater for Mom.
Yes. One that I would constantly reach in for.
Oh, I have no doubt. And then we have the Solasta by Amalia Saber.
Which doesn't catch my fancy unless you do it with a self-coloring yarn. Because
I could see doing it with...
like you would have a lot of ends.
Yeah, I could see that. But I also, I'm just intrigued by it.
Oh, it looks like sherbet.
Yeah, or sprinkles.
Or sorbet, or it looks great. But I'm thinking of the making of it.
Then we have the Lacuna tunic by Romi Hill.
I like it.
Mom likes. I do too. I think it's a nice, I
think it's a nice summer over sweater.
Yeah.
I think you could make it in a cotton, and it would be great for over your bathing suit or any kind of cover-up. And I know that linen sweater that I made last year, I didn't expect it to be warm, and actually I find it to be very warm. And it's a sweater that I like packing for my boating trips because it really is just the right weight. So I can see where if you made that up in a cotton, or that yarn that's a 50% wool and 50% cotton, so it's light, but it's warm-ish. It would be a great sweater to wear kind of down at the beach in the summer. So, yeah.
And then there's a great interview with Jacqueline Sleeslack, who did, this is the Aquarius or Water Bearer pullover. I think it's the Water Bearer. I don't think it's the... I think she's calling it the Water Bearer because she's an Aquarius pullover. I think so. But she also did the Ursa, the Rift, and a few others that are really beautiful. And I really loved the construction of the Ursa. That was a really lovely one. And always there's lovely articles in here. There's one about making, a floral arrangement, which I believe is done by, I believe Ocean did this. And, and she does these things on it. She shows you them on the Instagram too, and it's just...
What an eye.
She's
really
got
pretty.
Such an eye.
I tend to want to make things balanced, and this is not balanced, but it's gorgeous.
I love it. And then, of course, all the patterns are in the back.
Yes.
So, that is Pompom for this month. Oh, I like how they did it They have all the designers and contributors on the back. That's really pretty with the shadows. That's really pretty, y'all. I think it was a beautifully edited and directed magazine.
Absolutely.
And Pompom always impresses, but
it does. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
This was definitely
okay. So I had sent away for this book, The Art of Seamless Knitting, because it had a sweater in here, the cabled tunic, that I was thinking about for my calmer, but obviously I couldn't wait. But I do like this, and what I would do is I would actually increase the size over the hips, because my hips are wider than that model's. Let's see if I can get to the beginning. They have a really pretty lace cardigan, and I think that in almost any color would be a real hit. Can you see that? No, like a dark gray.
Yes.
And that would go with everything. And then this, again, this orange sherbet is lovely. Put that there. It's a Post-it note that left something on the book. Really? There we go.
Oh, I didn't take the Post-its out.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I just said, here you go.
Okay. I have Post-its and I can't seem to open it to the Post-it. Oh, this is pretty, and I didn't see it before. Where's the overall? Ah, lace pullover. I'm not much in the boat neck, but yes, again, you could try to get this, make that a different neck. And I do like the lace patterning that's in it. So I would make it more of a V-neck or a crew neck rather than a boat neck, because for me, a boat neck tends to fall right off my shoulders. But I do love these socks. It's a lacy pattern, and yes, they're from the cuff down, but I was looking at the pattern, and you could turn it around to make it from the toe up, and it would not be very difficult at all. So I am actually going to keep that right in there, because I like that a lot. This is another cabled pullover that they have in here. And again, I would make it just a little bit longer for the tunic length. I actually have that saved on a different page where the pattern actually is. On that cable tunic we already talked about. Here it is, the cabled top. And it's just really pretty. It's kind of an unbalanced Celtic cable there. And I think it's just so pretty. Then they have some things with baubles. I'm not a bauble person. So, but if you are, they're calling this the textured jacket, and the baubles look like the flowers or the flower pods at the end of a bush. And it's just, I'm not doing baubles. I made baubles on that sweater that I made for my father when I was in high school, and I grew to hate them. They have a very interesting, they call it a textured pullover, and it looks very 1920s to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't hit you that way. I do like the cables in it, but for me, it's maybe without the belt.
And the moss between, I think, makes it a little busy.
I'm not sure what I'm finding difficult about this pattern. I'm thinking it may be the belt, but I'm not sure. Maybe for me with a V-neck, that would be better. I think with the V-neck, I would like it better, but it is a gorgeous cable in it. And then the last thing, here's the textured V-neck top. Now you can see how they did the bust shaping. And what did you call it? A breast panel?
Boob panel.
A boob panel that comes to make the increase there right over your chest. And they did it because the back, if I can find the back, also has the increase right there. So it's a very interesting design, but what I would do to get rid of, because I'm not really fond of drawing people's vision to my chest, is to put my increase panel here off to the side rather than right over the girls. And again, this is where if you think about how you want your pattern to look before you actually start it, then you can make these changes and you can be much happier with what you're doing. I agree that I think it's good to finish what you start, but you saw me take apart that sequence knitting thing. If it's not going well, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't make yourself that unhappy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be much happier making the combination wool and
mohair.
Oh, this is interesting. Are these
Those
yours?
are the ones that I did.
And then the Rowan book came, and I really like this pattern that's right on the front. I don't know what it is at the moment, but I did mark it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they had a whole section on twin sets, But these are, what did you, coordinated?
They're defining twin sets as coordinated pieces
objects
of knitting.
Yes.
Not necessarily your mom or grandmother's twin set.
Cardigan and then under. I really do like the
shell.
The shell. I like the ribs that are going up that change the direction. I think that would be really pretty. I would want to put some sleeves on the thing just because my arms are always cold. Oh, here's a better look at it. So I would just want to put some cap sleeves in it. And in fact, our class that we took with Amy Detchen would be a great way to put sleeves into that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then here is a traditional twin set by Martin Story. Almost looking like a Shetland Fair Isle, but with different colors than the traditional.
Yeah.
And
all of these twin sets are named for famous couples, and so that's the Diego and Frida.
Ah, okay.
For the Kalos.
And then this is one, because again it's lace. This is Hepburn and Tracy. And look at that. I love that. I love it in those colors.
I know you do.
I think for a summer sweater set, that's really great. I think it would go over navy blue. It would go over almost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So let's find a thingy. Put this one back in there.
And then
this is the one I thought that might be good for you. I like more shaping than that has, and I like mine to be longer. Of course, you could make it longer. You just make sure you have the wool that when you buy your wool, you have enough. This is the one on the front. This is the Bowie,
as in Iman and Bowie.
Yes, look at this. I just think that's adorable. And it is in fine lace, and I think I have some lace up there. I've got a fair amount of lace up there that I could do this in. You know, I've got one of those, I think it's the pajamas, dirty pajamas.
Yeah.
Up there.
I thought I got that for you in fingering weight.
Yes, and I have it in lace weight.
Oh my goodness.
So that, oh my goodness. I'm very excited about that. Totally excited about that. We'll like double star that one. And then there's this very pretty shawl, which is the Imam right here.
Which is the lace from the sleeves of Bowie.
I hadn't even noticed that. See how much I like gloss over the shawls? This is the Adele. And what is the...
Adele
Emma. I don't know that group.
I don't know.
I don't know the grouping. This makes me cross-eyed when you wear them together, and you can see what I mean. Because one is predominantly white, the other is predominantly black. Separately, I like them. So I could see wearing this bolero jacket almost everywhere. And I think this, as a summer top, is scrumptious. But I think wearing them together, I see stars or spots or something. But really terrific.
I think this is the Portia and Ellen. I think that it's really lovely. It's a calf facet, so it's really wonderfully designed with color in mind. And I think you were saying you thought it would be a good use for all the different mini skeins that you get.
So have a basic undercolor.
Yeah.
Which could be
a gray oatmeal, or a cream or an oatmeal.
And then use all of your advent calendar minis.
Yeah.
I think that would be stunning. I think that, when we talked about it, I think that would be stunning. Now, there is a portion of this book that is dedicated to granny squares.
To crochet, yes.
No, specifically
to
granny squares. I have to tell you, I have made granny squares till they came out my ears. So it's going to be a long time before I make a garment made out of granny squares. I have made a ginormous granny square blanket where you just keep going around and around. It's a very huge square. But I have made it 5 foot by 5 foot. I have done individual granny squares. I've had enough of the granny squares. No. It's just like if your mom made meatloaf a lot when you were a kid and you can't stand to look at it now. I have that kind of reaction to granny squares. And I apologize in advance, but that's just it. This is called the June and Johnny.
I really like this set. I really like this set. I really like this set. The cardigan just feels so
and there's
cozy,
the under.
And I like the racerback under.
See, I wouldn't wear that, but I would wear that. Yeah. And I would wear that, the cardigan, all the time.
Yeah.
That, I think, is a great...
Yeah.
I could make them in 16 different colors, and that would be great. Here's another set that we like. Hans and Sophie. We don't know these people. But this, I thought, would be a fantastic summer cover-up. You know, anytime that you're in something where you're going to go into a store, maybe you've been out to the swimming pool and you need to go to the store, you can flip this on. And then this dress, I would make it just a little bit more A-line than it is. But then it would be another great piece to throw on all summer long. And it is for Summer Light DK. I'm imagining Summer Light DK must have a fair amount of
cotton
in it.
A lot of these have cotton.
Well, yes.
I think that's
just the photography.
What?
That was just the photography credits along the side. And then we're going to Hooked on Crochet. I'm not that great with my crochet, so if I'm going to do...
But I can admire it.
I can admire it. I think this looks great. But if I tried to do this, it would have 16 different shapes. Because I tend to go in on my sides or out on my sides to make sure I'm getting it in the right place. I'm not that good. Again, this is in Creative Linen by Lisa Richardson. It is the Messina. And again, a great kind of cover-up. I like it.
Yeah.
This to me reminds me of Baubles. Again, I'm not going to go there. This is called the Balzano. Again, by Lisa Richardson. But I'm sure some people would think it absolutely stunning. Those are leaves. It's not for me. A nice summer tea.
Again, my crochet is... Oh, that's
But see,
lovely.
I like this. I do like this. And if I could crochet worth a darn, I would make this. This looks to me as it would be utilitarian as well as very pretty. It's the Palermo by Lisa Richardson. There's a few other pictures of it. I think that would be a real workhorse in your closet. And then this is more like a Chanel jacket. It's called the Bergamo. Yeah. And it's in there's summer 4-ply. So it'll give you structure, but it should also be light. But with so many other cardigans, I'm not sure that this would be the first one I would go to, but it's certainly very pretty, and everybody needs a Chanel type jacket. Here's a poncho. This is the Sorrento.
Again, I think it's good for summer. I think it's good for wearing it on, just around. I think I've come to admire the shape of a poncho. Here's
the use of granny squares in the scarf. And they're not me, but they're for somebody else. And then this is just a feast of summer sherbet colors. And I think that on those cold, rainy days, this could be a delight to wear. This is called the Ravenna. And if I wore a shawl, I might think about this. Because I think this is the laciness that I like. And I just think that is so pretty. So very pretty. Let's see, anything else? And then here's
That's
the
what you were thinking.
Traditional granny squares. So easy to make, definitely easy to make, but not something that I would wear. Definitely not. They're calling this the summer hygge edition.
Yeah.
So cozy up. And that is about it. Of course, the patterns are in the back, so we've got several that are marked. And again, just like I've got a backup of yarn, you can see behind me I got a backup of patterns that I want to make. Did you get anything in?
I did not get anything in, but I have worked on something else.
Did you?
Yes, as I am binding off the sleeves. I've been working on my Vertices Unite blanket.
All right.
So, last you saw, I was still working on section 3. I have since then done section 4 and section 5.
Oh my goodness.
I am now on section 6.
How many sections are there?
8.
Okay.
Plus the I-cord bind off.
Okay.
And I showed it to the person I was hanging out with on Friday is the person who will be receiving this. Well, technically it's for their kid, but they were very excited about it. So that was good.
Like the colors?
Yeah. She was like, "How'd you pick the colors?" I was like, "You sent me a picture of the wall hanging you made." And she goes, "Oh, it's great. I love it." I was like, "Okay, cool. As long as you like it." Yeah, it's getting big, which is good because I was a little worried.
Oh, that it would be too small?
That it wasn't going to grow. It's a weird shape, and I kind of love it because it's a weird shape. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on when not working on that, which has been a lot, actually. Because I actually haven't gotten a bunch of knitting done this week. It's been a stressful week. It's going to be a stressful rest of the project.
Yes.
But yeah, so I've been working on that. I also I looked for the directions for the contiguous sleeve by Amy Deschen because I want to get that baby sweater done. But we found them here, so we're going to scan them in to make sure that we have them forever. And I also, so I have the Penguino for our priest's new baby, but I'm afraid it's small. Like, I don't know. We haven't met him yet, so I don't know, and I'm a little concerned.
You could send her an email and say, "Can I just come by and see if it fits?"
Well, I want to make a secondary thing just in case.
Okay.
So I was thinking, because I was going through my stash, and I have no idea what just happened here. I clicked the wrong thing. I was going through my stash, and then I was going through what I have in my library, and I have the Little Dude, which is by Andrea Rangel, which is based on the dude sweater from The Big Lebowski. So I do have the cream that I could use, the Red Heart cream, but I don't really want to use that. But I was thinking, I have this yarn, which is a Fiber Natura, which it's my first sweater that I frogged because I hated how it looked because it had no shaping. And I have enough, I think this would be a really good main color. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking of getting a black or something like that, or maybe stash diving your remnants. Oh. Not your stash, your remnant. This section. Yes. This section. Yes. The what I like to call the free free for all section. To see if you had any sort of color, like, what are you? You might not be thick enough. But that, and then getting maybe then using the cream. You can hold it double. I could hold it double. And then having a cream or something, or a light gray, or something. I like that. I like that, actually, for that sweater. Because I feel like She was described to me as an odd bird, which I identify with. And so I feel like she might really enjoy getting this sweater.
I think she would.
So I think I'm going to make that in the 6 to 12 month size. And I think I might, now that I have this off the needles and I've gifted Eleanor's, I think I'm going to try and get the contiguous sleeve baby sweater done. Mm-hmm. I have to decide if I want to put, because that's going to go to Jack. So I'm trying to decide if I put a Villanova V on it or not. Because everything else I've given them is in Villanova. Well, everything I give them is in Villanova colors. Because, reasons.
Why not?
But it is a light blue sweater. I could do it. I could put a Villanova V on it.
Of course you could. I've got the knitting graph paper right there.
I mean, the Harry Potter book has a whole alphabet in it from the Weasley sweaters.
Great.
Yeah, so I could do that. Okay. We'll see. But I was thinking I want to get that done and washed and then in the mail as soon as possible because he's almost 6 months. Because he was early October.
You might want to make the next size up.
Of the contiguous sleeve?
No, you said you're going to make the 6 to 9 month? Or...
No. Contiguous sleeve is for Jack.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's big enough, right? You made that one.
Yes. I'd get it done and out fast.
Oh, yeah. That's the plan.
Very fast.
Very fast. But they're up in Vermont. So, they're up
right
by Aunt Lorraine and Uncle Jim.
No,
so,
I'm just thinking how fast they grow.
They grow. No, I know. So, I want to get that out. But other than that, I think actually that might be able to become my new purse project.
That would be good because it will never outgrow your purse.
No, it won't outgrow my purse. That's a good thing.
It is.
But then I was thinking about this because I was very worried. I didn't want to gift her something that then she would feel obligated to put him in. If he doesn't fit in it, then I would feel horrible. So I'm going to see how long this takes, and then who knows, maybe the next little one that shows up might get the Penguino.
It's really cute.
It is really cute. I might make
Somehow I thought that was going to Eleanor.
Oh my god. Oh, that'd be really cute too.
I know.
I already gifted them some. I already gave.
I just thought that was going to Eleanor for some reason.
No, the love note.
That was
the love note went to Eleanor.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I have to look at my list. I have a list at work of all of the babies to knit for. So I think I'm making a dent.
That's good. I seem to have lost my size 8 7/8. What is the gray colored wood one?
Your Likes?
Yes. It must be in a project someplace.
Must be.
So I need to get going on these projects.
Yeah. So Pompom Spring, and then we'll figure that out after.
But hopefully I will finish this piece hopefully by Wednesday. And maybe I'll have a finished baby sweater by next week.
Oh my goodness.
And it's daylight savings time.
It is. Week. Oh, is that what you were thinking of maybe?
Maybe.
Because next weekend, starting on Thursday, is also the Long Island Yarn Crawl.
Yes. So
it is 10 shops on Long Island. It goes from
Thursday
to Sunday, and there are extended hours for most of the shops. It goes all the way from Black Sheep in East Hampton to the knitting shop in Oceanside, and what's the one in Port?
I thought that was the knitting store. Help!
So Port Washington, Oceanside,
Huntington.
Yeah. Okay, so it goes Port Washington, Roslyn, so Knit in Roslyn, Knitted Pearl in Oyster Bay, the Knitting Cove, or Knitting Garden in Huntington, Knitting Cove in Port Jeff, Altman's in Mattituck.
Love
Altman's. They've got a cafe across the street that we can eat at.
Okay.
So I'm very tempted to say we should do brunch there.
So maybe we should go all the way out on Sunday early to the Hamptons, and then
meet up,
get to
maybe
Altman's.
meet up with people and do brunch at Altman's.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk. And then Black Sheep out in East Hampton. Then for the South Shore, there is Long Island Yarn and Farm in Yaphank. There is So What's New in Islip.
And they have great fabric.
Right? Is that Islip? No.
It's somewhere like that. I think so. But they're really sweet. So What's New in Yarn too. And they have some really cute fabrics as well as some nice yarn. Some of the yarn up here is from them.
Yeah, so that's that. Let's see if I can find the... Do they have the names of all the... Oh, so it's the Knitting Place in Port Washington. Okay. There we go. So Long Island Yarn and Farm.
And
so What's New in Yarn
They have
2.
their basement open. They have some great sales.
They can have some great sales.
In the basement.
Yeah. And then the Knitting Store in Oceanside. I think I said all of them. Altman's, Black Sheep, Knitted Pearl, Knitting Cove, Knitting Garden, Knitting Place, Knitting Store, Long Island Yarn and Farm, and so What's New and Yarn 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Yeah, so there are 10 shops. You can pick up your passport at any of the participating shops.
Or download it.
It's a 2-pager. It's a packet kind of thing this year, so.
They have it on the website.
Okay, then you can download it too. So check it out. I'm gonna try and check it out as much as I can. I've got family coming in over the weekend, so I don't know if I'll be coming out Friday or not, because
well, we have to see how much you want to cover, because I can cover a lot on Thursday.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
because I can start out and be at stores starting at 10 o'clock, and I can cover all over the place.
Yeah.
And then we can plan on Sunday going all the way out, so we can do things on Saturday too. But you have to decide how much you want to cover.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like I need yarn.
I know. And I'm trying to still stash down, so.
But I do need obviously some size 8 needles.
Obviously.
Yes. So.
But yeah.
I may be needle hunting. And then we'll just see what hits us. I mean, someone's going to have a sale on yarn. How do you pass up something when it's like $3 a skein? That would be criminal.
Not easily.
No.
Not easily.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
But I do know, I mean, yes, stashing down is a good idea. Always a good idea.
Yes, well, just trying to use what you have.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to just get things done. So it is March 1st. I think we've done a pretty good February in terms of our production of stuff.
I think so. I mean, we didn't really slow down. We got
I feel like I
made.
slowed down, but I feel like that's also because I don't think I've knit as much during the week this past 2 weeks.
And I figured out that I'm kind of a selfish knitter. Either that or it's just this yarn. That I can't wait to get back to making my own sweaters.
Well, also you've knit like 4 or 5 things for for little new humans recently.
I have. And I'm a selfish knitter to begin with.
A bit, yes.
Yes.
So, but speaking of selfish knitting, I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but Ashcroft. Spinnery Ashcroft makers in Scotland have come out with their 3D printed sock machine. So sock machines currently run
about $2,000.
I was gonna say the lowest I've found for a sock machine that isn't
antique.
Plastic.
Okay.
Which, I mean, okay, I will give you the 3D printed one is plastic, but it's a bit more hefty. Are about $1,000 to $2,000. So, Ashcroft Makers does have their new 3D printed circular sock machine for about £200, which is about $250 US dollars. It looks phenomenal. Currently, it has a cylinder for 60 needles, so 60 stitch sock, but they are going to be coming out with 72 and 48 soon.
Right, so 72 is good for men and larger size feet. And then the 48s are really good for the DK socks.
Yeah, but I was also going to say that depending on the gauge that you're getting, because I started looking at this because Freckled Whimsy is having a spring sale or her once a year sale, I don't remember, on her cranking out sock tubes. And I'm thinking about sending some of my self-striping there because I want them knit. I want to wear them, but I'm going to knit them in stockinette, so there's not much that I would not.
I would see it as I find that changing color keeps me going.
They're fingering weight. We all know how I do with fingering weight socks. They take forever and ever and ever and ever.
And see, so. I finished a pair in a week with self-striping yarn.
That's me with DK weight.
Yeah.
But
It's the self-striping. It's just, I want to see the next color. And then you do the color, and then I want to see the next color. And it keeps me going.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So,
it does not work that way for me, apparently.
I understand.
So, I am thinking about sending some off. We'll put the link to her down in the doobly-doo, because I then was like, well, what about these sock machines? Also, because I had seen Lorna had posted about this, and so I was like, wait, I think we were supposed to hear more in February, and we did. And so it's now they're made to order, so it will be about 3 to 4 weeks between order and shipping, but I am very intrigued by this.
Absolutely.
And if it I am very intrigued by this, and
I'm more intrigued by this than a spinning machine.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I still love my Nano. My Nano is pretty great, but
have you been using it?
I took it out a few weeks ago, but I don't know if it's a good idea with the tension that I am experiencing.
Right.
But I do think this would be really cool.
Yeah.
I really like it. So I feel like it's just going to be an open tab on my phone.
Absolutely.
For the next...
Till one of us gets it.
Yeah, until one of us just goes, okay, we're getting this. Or one of us says, I'll split it with you. You know, because that's how these things go in our life and in our family. I'm very intrigued to see what they come up with. So I don't think they've posted... I thought they had it on here on their Instagram, but I guess they don't.
What would they post about?
I thought they had posted about the sock machine, but I guess they hadn't. Because I think they said somewhere that they're going to be posting like samples from it knit up. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm, as I said, still very intrigued by it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from somebody or anybody who has actually used one.
But it does make the circular sock machines way more accessible. Because you honestly, at this point, you have to know someone who has one, in order to like kind of inherit it. Or you buy it new, or
right, new. And the Erlangers are running about $1,700 new.
Yeah.
From what I could find.
And
I couldn't support for myself.
Yeah.
Buying a sock machine for $1,700, no matter how intrigued I was by it.
Right, but for
$250, that's a whole other story.
Yeah. Especially because I would totally crank out tubes.
But you could also make sock
sleeves.
Blanks.
You can make sleeves.
Sock blanks.
Yeah. Tanya's sending a skein to Freckled Whimsy to do sleeves for her boxy.
Ah.
Which I thought was brilliant. Because they're just stockinette tubes.
That's right.
So those are things that I've been thinking about. Because that's just...
the way we are.
That's also really cool.
It is a cool thing.
Like, the fact that someone made a 3D printed sock machine. I think that makes it super accessible. I also think that, machine knitting is still knitting. It's not,
absolutely.
There are some people who don't think that way.
I know.
But I think it's very interesting. And I think some people have a lot of trouble. I've seen people posting about how they have trouble knitting on such small needles to get the tight gauge you need for socks. And so this would make socks way more accessible for people because I think most people will acknowledge how wonderful it is to have hand knit socks.
They're fantastic.
So I think that would be fun. I do think though if we got it the first Christmas, everyone would be getting a pair of socks.
Yes.
I have
no doubt.
Yeah. We would just be like, sorry, we sat in front of the TV for a weekend. It was great. We just cranked out tubes. It was awesome.
That's right.
Also, I apologize if we do get it, because I'm going to be obsessed with it for like a month at least. Because sock tubes are going to happen. Having some troubles there?
I am, yes.
But yeah, so I just figured I'd bring it up in case some of you are hoarding some self-striping skeins that you just don't have the energy to do, because I think I might be in that boat. So I might send them out, or I might wait and see for a little while if we're gonna
get one,
or if Tanya gets one.
Well, you hadn't mentioned the sharing of one. So
well, I only thought of it as we were doing this, so
I could see that. So
I
anyway,
could too.
We'll keep you posted.
This might be like the Gertie Patreon, where I showed Mom the pattern for the princess coat and told her that Gertie's Patreon has a pattern to add a hood to make it a raincoat, to which point she was like, okay. And I said, why don't we split? So now we split, essentially, paying for the Gertie Patreon.
And now she came out with a pattern for a bolero.
I know, really I saw it on Instagram. It's super cute.
Downloaded it, and it's up in our shared space.
Saw it on Instagram, and I was going to bring up how it is. It's super cute.
It really is. It's really cute.
And I think it'd be wearable, for boat travel.
I think it would be.
Because it's small, and you can just throw it on over.
If you make it in a double knit.
Right, yeah.
Thing. Yes.
But yes, again, this is not...
You see all of that yarn over there in that bag, that one skein wonders?
Yeah.
They'd be perfect for a sock
I
machine.
know.
Perfect.
I know. This is the start of possibly this is happening. But yeah. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited now that I have gotten your input on the little dude, because I thought of this, and now I'm like, this should happen.
I love it.
I think it's super cute. I like Andrea Rangel's patterns. She's just so clever. So I don't know. I'm so excited to be binding off these sleeves, to tell you the truth.
Well, you couldn't have gone much further.
I couldn't have. I mean, I bound off the one, and I only have that much left.
See,
I could have done a row. I'm also doing the super stretchy bind off, which is not the usual one we do, but that's because when I put it on, my sleeves did stretch to essentially this, the width that they are.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wear it, it won't look flared. So I can deal with it looking slightly flared.
Well, once it's washed, it'll settle in.
Yeah, I might wash it on gentle because it is alpaca and it's a single, so I don't know how it's gonna
you know what I mean.
behave. Yeah, no, I know. So we'll see. But I just wanted to let you all know that I did do that. And so maybe I'll have a finished sweater for next week. That would be exciting.
That would be exciting.
But yeah, I think we have gotten to the point where we just faff about.
And we're not going to do that anymore.
We're not going to do that anymore.
So weaving those in.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.